Gentlemen with the red flag up, and it appears that they're off. So once again, starting out of sight, we won't be able to give you a read until they make it to the first. And here they come, and at the front it is Coal Dust, and Blair Wyatt now giving up the lead to Incomplete from the outside. Right behind them is Prospector Strike. He's joined by Native Mark on the outside. Then comes Bon Cato, Shady Valley, the early trailer, but a closely packed group as they come to the next. It's Coal Dust and Prospector Strike. Coal Dust out jumps him there. Prospector Strike a length back. Now Bon Cato coming up alongside. With him is Native Mark, and Prospector Strike moves back into fourth, Incomplete in fifth, and then Shady Valley moving up alongside of him as they head towards the driveway. As they go out of sight, the lead resting at the top with Bon Cato.
Continuing along the backside out of sight. We have no horse continues. Let me tell you that Bon Cato is showing the way as they cross the driveway. And everyone else comes behind again. And the tight question was indeed a length of the field. As they head down behind the paddock. Once again, look at access.
Around the turn, and coming out from behind the studio, and at the front it's Prospector Strike and Justin Batoff showing the way as they head across the driveway. Just another 3 lengths back to Bon Cato, and then a gap of 4 to Shady Valley, and behind him Incomplete and Coal Dust. So up and over the next stack fence, and it's Prospector Strike, just as he did here last year, showing the way under Justin Batoff towards the board fence. Up and over that one with a 2-length advantage, call it 1.5, over Patrick Worrell and Bon Cato. And coming by us here at the storage stand, a 3-length advantage for Prospector Strike, jumping nicely indeed. Tough one there for Bon Cato and Patrick Worrell. On the outside, it's Incomplete. Charles Fenwick now moving up in between horses. That's Shady Valley. And on the inside of him, Blair Wyatt on Coal Dust. So once again, as they go out of sight, it's Prospector Strike and Justin Batoff with the lead. Right behind him, Patrick Worrell and Bon Cato. And
Strike. And behind Bon Cato. Right along the back side.
at the front as they disappear behind the studio, and Boncato still holding on the outside of him, though. Here comes Incomplete right behind those two. Coal Dust, Prospector's Strike, another 2 lengths behind. Shady Valley is the trailer. Just 2 fences left to run now as they come into the stretch. Everybody all out, and it's Incomplete with the advantage as they come to the stacked fence. Incomplete and Boncato and Coal Dust right there. Coal Dust and Incomplete look like they're going to fight this one out. Boncato fading back into 3rd place. Prospector Strike right behind him at the last. Here comes Coal Dust with a tremendous rush on the inside. Incomplete trying to make it up as they come to the line. It's Coal Dust and Incomplete. Too close to call from here. It's Coal Dust by ahead at the wire over Incomplete. Boncato in 2nd place. Shady Valley up for 3rd, then Prospector Strike.
Looks like they're going to fight this one out. Boncato fading back into 3rd place. Prospector behind him at the last. The inside, Incomplete.
It was a nice group. For the most part, everyone jumped well, and Coal Dust just settled nicely, and we picked it up with about a turn to go. I was just sticking with Charlie on Incomplete because I figured he was the one to beat.
It looked like nobody wanted to start that race.
No, they didn't. I just went. I didn't want to go to the lead, but I knew they'd come by me, and they did.
Important if you're doing time in jail.
And the flag is up, and they're off. Once again, they start out of sight along the field, along Pocock Road as they get to the first fence. They will come into view, and showing the way out at the front, it's Jake Chalfin on Tap Tap. And right behind him is Vole Nole. A 5-length advantage for our leader, Tap Tap, and Vole Nole with a 15-length lead over Analyze, who has another large lead, call it 10 lengths, over Bold Quest, and your trailer by another 3 lengths is Template. As they head to the driveway, quickly indeed, Jake Chalfin and Tap Tap showing the way by 5 lengths over Vole Nole, another gap of 20 to Analyze, and picking up the slack from the back now, Bold Quest is only 8 lengths off of him, and it's another 3 lengths back to your trailer, Template.
Can you stay about just a little bit that way? Thank you.
But Chalfin not looking happy as Tap Tap continues off into the countryside. Heads up, please. Heads up, ladies and gentlemen. Loose horse on course. Outriders, loose course on course on the lead. And Tap Tap knows his way here, heads across the driveway. And now inheriting the lead as Tap Tap veers off. Heads up, ladies and gentlemen, please. As they come by the stand for the first time, it's Analyze in the lead. In second place, Vole Nole, followed by stablemate Bold Quest in third. So at this point, only 3 left. A lot of attrition while they were out of sight. And inheriting the lead is Analyzed over the board fence with Vole Nole right behind him and his stablemate Bold Quest, another 2.5 lengths behind him as they come to the post and rail right in front of the winning post. And a bad one there, and there goes Analyze. Analyze is down, and it's only the Northwoods entry left. Another loose horse. Heads up, please. Ladies and gentlemen, loose horse on course. And now only 2 left. And it's Vole Nole showing the way across the driveway in front of Bold Quest. These 2 stablemates will have to figure it out on the backside. Nole has a 3-length advantage as they disappear behind the studio. And it's Bold Quest and Vole Nole, but only 3.5 lengths separate these 2, and Bold Quest all out now. Vole Nole looking like he might have a little left in reserve as they head across the driveway. Just 2 fences left to jump, and it's the stablemates fighting it out. And at the front, Bold Quest with the lead. Vole Nole, though, still within touch as they come to the stack fence. Bold Quest is going to be the first there, up and over. 3-length advantage, checks back over his shoulder. Now going to work, it's Patrick Worrell as they come to the next. Darren Nagel as they come to the next, and almost a problem there for Bold Quest. And Bold Quest is galloping here through the stretch. Vole Nole taking one last run at him, and Bold Quest is going to gallop here easily under Patrick Worrell. And in second, Darren Nagel on. And they're off. Out of sight, but they're off. And as usual, you'll have to look to the black stack fence between the fields along Pocock Road. Get our first glimpse, but out at the front, we can already see it's Rod Cameron in Midnight Classic with the lead, followed by Michael Wharton and Irolo in second. In third is Instamatic, and then our early trailer by 3 is Todd McKenna on Heroes Among Us. Early lead as they head to the next post and rail, it's Rod Cameron on Midnight Classic. and chips into that one, loses a bit of his lead, and now coming up right behind him, Instamatic on the outside, and Airolo now gaining second place on the inside, just a length and a half, call it 2 lengths now as they head towards the driveway. Instamatic settling back into third by a length, and another length and a half to Todd McKenna and Heroes Among Us. Across the driveway, just a length and a half off him, and Todd McKenna and Heroes Among Us another length and a half back as they disappear behind the studio and come back into view. First time as they come toward us, it's Rod Cameron at Midnight Classic trying to make that lead at the front tail, but it's only 3 lengths over Airolo. Then comes Instamatic and Heroes Among Us as they come over the driveway. A series of 3 testing fences here, and the one that's going to show the way is Rod Cameron and a Midnight Classic. To the stack fence, Midnight Classic gets there first. Up and over that one, then comes Airolo, quickly followed by Instamatic, as Rod Cameron checking around behind him, and Todd McKenna and Heroes Among Us just a length behind there, now moving up next to Instamatic. Midnight Classic over the board fence and maintains a 3-length advantage, call it 4, as they come by us here for the first time over Airolo. So the trying post and rail, nicely done there by Midnight Classic, and a bobble there by Airolo, but up and over it, Michael Wharton stays on. A gap of 2 to Instamatic, and Todd McKenna just marking time on Heroes Among Us at the back, waiting for the leader. So as they go out of sight once again, Rod Cameron a 3-length lead over Airolo with a half-length lead over Instamatic, and Heroes Among Us another The second place horse, which is now Heroes Among Us, and Todd McKenna. Midnight Classic fading back into third. In fourth place, it's Instamatic, but all out on at the front. It's Michael Wharton and Arolo checking over his shoulder. Right behind him, Midnight Classic and Rod Cameron making another run at Heroes Among Us. This could be a horse race as they cross the driveway. And it's Arolo on the front. Michael Wharton trying to make this lead tell as he comes to the stack fence. It's Arolo. Todd McKenna now closing on Heroes Among Us. Rod Cameron coming back on Midnight Classic, and Michael Wharton's down on Arolo, and inheriting the lead is Rod Cameron in Midnight Classic. Here comes Todd McKenna on Heroes Among Us as they come to the board fence. Rod Cameron with the lead. Here comes Heroes Among Us. These two are going to duel it out. It's Midnight Classic and Heroes Among Us looking side to side. Rod Cameron's got the lead, and he's going to keep it. Rod Cameron by 5 over Heroes Among Us. Instamatic in third. Unfortunate occurrence there at the last for Arolo, and Michael Wharton going down with the lead at the last. But you're and the flag is up, and they're off, out of sight. Once again, we've got a field of 5 ladies here waiting for them to come back into sight. And they are, and it looks like balaclava as they charge at this first fence. And up and over first. It is Kim Vest and Dreaming of Glory with a 2-length advantage. Now moving into second place is Wazimoto and Melanie Williams in third place. Adair Bonsall-Stiefel by a length and a half, then another length and a half to Michelle Durbin and taking inventory. And your early trailer by 2 is Suzanne Stutenius on King Lear.
Behind the training barn and down through the paddock. So we'll see what tail rounding of the corner by the house. They'll be out of sight for a little bit of while. But once again, at the front, is Kim Vest and Dreaming of Glory, which hold that.
Heading around the studio, and they're flying out there on the lead, and it's still Kim Vest, but she's been joined by Wazimoto at the front and Melanie Williams, as those two have separated themselves well from the field, as King Lear has moved into third behind them. Right behind that, Adair Bonsall-Stiefel on Vinnie Boy, and your trailer is taking inventory. Up and over the stack fence and taking very wide but similar courses. It's Dreaming Dreaming of Glory and Quasimodo as they come up now to the board fence. And both up and over that one as they head towards this trying post and rail in front of us and almost running as a team. Slight advantage to Dreaming of Glory, takes the big one, gets it, but right alongside her is Quasimodo, and it's a gap of 15 back to Suzanne Stettinius and King Lear, and then another gap of 8 to Adair Bonsall-Stiefel on the inside on Vinnie Boy. She's joined on the outside, now taking over. Second to last place, that's Michelle Durbin on taken inventory. So
continuing along out of sight where, but it was a hotly contested battle on the front. Glory and Tim Beth, and Melody Wood on the side. Photo still looking out of it.
second as they make the turn around the studio, and it's Quasimodo now widening out to an 8th length advantage. Suzanne Stettinius and King Lear trying to make that up, and Dreaming of Glory now fading back into 3rd place, but in command at the front, it's Quasimodo. Checking back over her shoulder and doesn't see anybody moving except for King Lear and Suzanne Stettinius, and she's going to have to get to work in a hurry. Quasimodo up at the next. Here she is at the stack. Right behind her, though, only about 4 lengths out of it, Suzanne Stettinius and King Lear. Quasimodo coming to the last at the board fence. If she can take this, she can take it all. Up and over that one. Here comes King Lear and Suzanne Stettinius for a late run. Does he have it in him? Suzanne Stettinius on the inside, asking for everything from King Lear. King Lear trying to stick a nose in front, and he's done it. King Lear and Suzanne Stettinius getting the better of Quasimodo from the last to the line.
There we go. There we go.
So, what was it like out there?
Well, I tried to just sit in behind quietly, and then by the end, I thought I was too far back, and then I just pushed him on. I see him gaining on her. She chipped into that second to last, and I knew I had her at that point. So, yeah, big adrenaline rush.
It was
By Scarlett Davies, trained by Blythe Miller Davies, ridden by Tenny Davies, and it doesn't matter anymore because they're off. And we've got siblings running alongside trying to help. It looks like there is a healthy lead, though, at the front there for Triple Lucky Bars and South Branch Farm. Now there's a late run, it looks like, from Ginger. Ginger going to give Triple Lucky Bars all he can handle. Ginger at the line, and it's going to be Ginger by a head over Triple Lucky Bars.
Ginger Canner.
But we have a steward's inquiry. Hold your tickets, everyone. There's a steward's inquiry. Not allowed to break into a canter, so we will make these results very unofficial. and trained by Jonathan Martin and ridden by Johnny Carnes. And then we have the number 6, Scott Willowdale, owning, training, and riding Cherokee. The number 8 is Valentine Fisher's Freya, ridden and trained by Natalie Starts. And as we come to the first, we have one pony already circling back. As the rest continue on, as we say, you have to stay behind the field master. And 3 intrepid souls have done so. And there are no saddle towels, and nobody has the right colors on, so we hope their families know who they are, know who to root for, because we can't tell you who they are from here, because we have absolutely no idea who the 3 kids following Jeff are and who the rest of them are. But we have a fall, and the only other information we can give you is it's starting to resemble Napoleon's retreat from Moscow. Just a few at the vanguard and everybody else struggling in their wake. And emerging from around the studio now is Jeffrey Hyde, still up. That's no surprise, but he's got 3 in tow, just as he did when he went out of sight. As he heads back across the driveway, and it appears he's getting ready to turn them loose. Or perhaps not. As he carries them over the next small stack fence. And it appears he's turned them loose. And it looks like at the front it is Pepper and Emma Warden, no stranger to winning these sort of contests. And at the front, once again, it's going to be Pepper and Emma Warden, your winner, with the Ace of Spades in second, and Rip Dash, who just by
behind me at the finish line, so I was really riding for it. Only after he's like, "Oh, you whooped me again." He's a great kid, though.
But
And it looks like Jeff Hyde's going to give him a good run at this first fence. Once again, these are junior horses, so we expect a slightly faster clip. And once again, for all of your tailgating, down them if you got them. This is the last event of the day. The 7th race is scratched. So this is last call here at Elkridge-Harford, and our junior horses are off and led by Jeffrey Hyde on Subatonic. And up and over the first, and both riders over. Maggie Herzog in the lead on Amazing Daisy, but lots of time to go as Riley Stettenius and Sailmaker certainly don't look worried, 4 lengths behind their stablemate. And for a change, everybody up and over the next fence. So this race.
Perhaps a quicker ending and maybe a little bit more excitement than they had in our beautiful Elkridge-Harford country here in the heart of it. While we're at it, we're having the Elkridge-Harford races here at Atlanta Hall Farm. Not only historic picture avenue, but awful fun to be here. So continuing out of sight, these guys from
And it's Amazing Daisy and Maggie Herzog. The closest to him, and Sailmaker trying to close the ground as they head towards the driveway. And now Jeffrey Hyde cagily slowing down the pace, letting both of our horses get closer together as they come to the last, and he'll turn them loose. And a slight advantage resting with Amazing Daisy and Maggie Herzog over Sailmaker and Riley Stettenius as they come to the last. And now it's no race at all as Maggie Herzog and Amazing Daisy take off through the stretch. She looks back over her shoulder and she's coming at her, but she's not going to get close as Maggie Herzog and Amazing Daisy is going to take the junior horse division easily. Not so.
Riley Stettenius as they come to the last, and now it's no race at all as Maggie Herzog and Amazing Daisy take off through the stretch. She looks back over her shoulder and she's coming out, but she's not going to get close. Maggie Herzog and Amazing Daisy is going to take the Ripstad, trained by Suzanne Stettenius.
Her older sister Suzanne, I just train her at them.
I see, so because he was trying to make it sound like
Yeah.
there was some big rivalry.
Yeah. It was pretty tough though, because we almost fell off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I lost on the downhill jump, the little brush, lost both my stirrups, and she kept throwing her head up, and I was being thrown all over the saddle.
Good
I had
for
to
you.
circle twice, but I got it.